guys, I'm here at SHOT Show 2025, and I'm here at H&R Harrington and Richardson, and they have an amazing retro line of M16 style rifles, and a lot of these were actually used by the IDF and still are in many cases used by the IDF. And so I want to give you some of my personal hands-on experience with these. So this here, of course, is the A1, M16A1. And this is what I was issued in basic training. These were sent, thousands of these, hundreds of thousands I should say, were sent to the IDF by the United States during the Yom Kippur War, 1973, on what they call the air train. And these immediately entered service, eventually replacing the FN FAL and later on the Galil as the primary battle rifle of the IDF. Of course, these, what they called Vietnam magazines, is not what we were issued. We were issued the full 30-round magazines, but this is what the U.S. was issuing at the time in Vietnam. It's got a 20-inch barrel, 1-in-12 twist, uses generally a 55-grain 5.56 round, will not fire the later 62-grain SS-109 or M855 penetrators, as they're sometimes alternately known. What's really awesome about this rifle is it's really, really light, extremely accurate, up to 600 meters approximately. This one's got the forward assist, not that we usually use that very often, but really cool rifle. Brings back a lot of memories because this is what I went through my entire basic training with. So still in use in the IDF, although not as common so much today. The next one over here that we have is this right here. So what they would call this in the IDF is the Mikutsar. This really is basically AR-15, the shortened version of the M16A1. And this is pretty much the way you would see it in the IDF. With this magazine right here, of course it would have a sling that'd be tied with paracord on both ends over here, combat carry. This was the preferred weapon of the IDF for a very long time, including still in combat units today, because it is so light and handy. You sacrifice a little velocity by having a shorter barrel than the original 20-inch barrel with the 14.5-inch barrel, but it really makes up because it's just so handy and easy to use. So these are still one of the primary combat rifles of the IDF to this day in frontline units as well as in reserve units, and it's probably going to stay in service for a very long time. Last but not least, I want to show you one of their latest additions. This is the what we call in Hebrew Minusar or Mikutsar. So this came out in the IDF just about towards the end of my service, around 2004. What happened is these older M16A1s with a full-size barrel, they were great in the field, but they were not great for CQB, what they call in Hebrew Lashab, close quarter combat. And so they wanted to go with something smaller, so like a Colt Commando type profile, but still maintaining the basic platform of the M16 in 5.56. So what they did is basically just took the long full-size M16s and they chopped down the barrels to about 13 inches, and that's what we see right here. And so this is a very faithful reproduction of that rifle, which is in service, again, with many, many combat units to this day in the IDF, exactly the way you would see it here. Not only that, it's even scruffed up, because what you'll notice about these IDF weapons, they are not nice. They don't keep them well. They're beaten to hell. You know, they're put through real intense combat, and so this one, from the factory, they scruffed it up a little bit to make it look kind of, battle worn, and they even have a Star of David stamp in there, which is pretty close to the original IDF, the factory proof marks that they would have added to those Colt M16s from the factory. So this is really awesome. Also, one thing that you'll notice, which is really cool, it's got an arm brace, not a stock. So this is not an SBR. This is actually legally a pistol. So you don't actually need to get a tax stamp for this. And it's actually a very faithful reproduction of those original early type Colt collapsing buttstocks, but again, not a stock. It is a brace. So this is a pistol. You can buy this. Don't need to register it. Really, really awesome. I am very, very impressed. It just brings back so many memories. And as an Israeli firearms instructor, this is the kind of stuff I love to train people on. Even the sling is pretty faithful. It's a pretty close sling to the kind of stuff that we would have been using in the IDF combat carried like that. So I definitely recommend you check them out. H&R, they're for sale on Palmetto State Armory website. Once in a while I notice they have discounts and stuff, so go ahead and check them out. And I hope you enjoy it. They're about as close as you're going to get to one of those original older Colts. Very faithful reproduction and high quality, so check them out.